All righty, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, October 22nd. Welcome to another Watercooler Wednesday, and joined by Dwayne Gibbs as always. Dwayne, what's happening?
Oh, same old, same old.
I'll tell you what, the weather and the fall is starting to show up, man. Feels good down here.
Oh, for
Feels
sure.
good. Feels good. I was on a conference call the other day. I've got an event coming up here in Orlando in first week of November, and people coming in from all over the place, and a lot of people up in the Midwest getting cold up there,
Yeah.
Northeast getting cold up there, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be perfect for you guys. It'd be about high 70s, early 80s, I think. But it's beautiful. Got out for a quick walk this morning, so fall is coming, and bringing some good deals with it too. I've got 8 deals in the pipeline right now, and so again, there's activity everywhere. Ironically enough, I think 2 of the 8 just waiting on the seller, like ready to go. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Do you want to sell or
But
not?
it's funny when you do this full time, it's like you're ready to go. Then you got to step back and realize, not everybody does this full time, right? In fact, most people don't. So, they're working their regular job and they'll get to it when they get to it, sort of thing. But that's fine. So, got one really close. Already got that one funded. Um, got another one, just got that one's under contract. And let's see. Oh, I had a couple deals, one deal, I should say. Uh, one deal that came back on the market. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. And then another one through special inventory, which is great. That came direct. And I call it special inventory to everybody, and that's when inventory just comes to me, not going through a third party or anything like that. It's somebody that I've known from the past that has a deal. They come direct, and that's always awesome. It cuts out the time, expenses, and everything else where I could just go direct, and it brings deals that other people otherwise are never going to see, unless I turn it down. And if I turn it down, there's a reason, right? You may not want to see it. But those are always great. And so I like that. We've got that deal ready to go. I already sent the contract off for that one, just waiting on them to sign that. We've already signed on our end. And then I've got a deal, like I said, that came back to me. And hopefully I've got two more that are in that same situation, but I don't have them on the docket yet in the pipeline, so to speak. Um, why would deals come back? This particular one, you may recall, Dwayne, we talked about it on a Water Cooler Wednesday some time ago because the deal looked really good. It was being uh, uh, full payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance were all being collected. And the lesson I taught in that one was you still check the property taxes. It's just something that you do on every single deal. It's just one of those things. And even though it was being escrowed, the loan was being self-service, so there was no third party looking at it. The money, the full payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance was going to the note holder, and the note holder was supposed to be paying the taxes and the insurance from the escrow.
Hmm.
Well, they forgot. And 3 years, 3 years of property taxes had gone by. And I, of course, looked that up and I said, love the note. I said, but you got 3 years of property taxes here that somebody's got to pay. So we either got to take that off the price or you've got to pay it. And they decided, hey, we'll take care of it. And he goes, you know what? I went back and I looked at the paperwork. And when I did the modification for this borrower, she I was supposed to pay the taxes. So he goes,
Yes, I remember this
remember that
deal.
one? He's like, my
Yeah.
fault, my bad. I just totally forgot about it. I will take care of it because she has paid that money. Boom, got
I
it.
think the guy was in the business.
Yeah, yeah. And I think he does more real
He
estate
does,
than
yeah,
notes.
real estate
Yeah,
or tax liens or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. The tax lien is how he finds the properties. Yeah. So he went back and cleared that up. Then we were back on track on that deal, and getting ready to move forward. And he goes, you know what? She's applied for a loan and she's going to pay the property off. And I was like, he goes, so I'm pulling it. I'm like, and what do you do? He had no legal obligation to sell it to me because we didn't have it under contract yet. There was kind of an implied agreement, that we were going to do that, but I don't think there was a written agreement. But even if there was, he's got it to somebody, and I can't blame the guy. I mean, if there's going to be a full loan payoff, why would he sell it at a discount, to me? So I get that. It was disappointing because, my thought is always, well, damn, that would have been a good one to buy, right? Because when we buy these at a discount, everybody, you're not paying what the person owes, or the UPB, the unpaid balance is what they owe, and we buy that at a discount. So if you buy a note and it pays off early, you're getting some kind of a gap payment in there, which is going to increase your yield. Now, by the way, sometimes we don't like it when people pay off early because nice, steady, long paying, mailbox money, so to speak, where you're not doing anything, you're making, your cash is invested and you're making a really good cash flow. You would prefer that someone doesn't pay it off, but you have no control over that. If they want to pay it off by selling the house or refinancing, they have every single right to do that. But, our thing is, well, our yield's going to go up and we take that money and we reload and buy something else. So I was surprised the other day. I was looking and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that one. And so I reached back out to the person and re-reminded them. I was hoping they would kind of just come back to me, but okay. I just re-reminded them, and I keep all my stuff, which is, I knew what I offered them. I had all the information, on the note. I keep files and all that kind of stuff, so I know exactly where we are. And so we'll see. I looked at that one, and he has paid all the taxes, by the way, that showed up, but the taxes from 2022 have been sold, and they're still showing as that's been sold. You got to call for a total payoff number. And I was like, you got three of them, but the other one's sold. What are you gonna do on that one? He goes, actually, I paid that. He goes, but I haven't heard back from the county yet.
Mm.
So once I get confirmation from the county, I'll show you that it's indeed paid. Okay, perfect. So hopefully we can move forward on that one as well. So towards the end of the year, you've got individuals and you've got funds that are they're trying to cash out some of the stuff at the end of the year. They're looking at their books and they're going, what are we carrying over to next year? What do we need to get rid of? And they're making moves. Do we have to pay investors back? All that sort of stuff starts to come into play in this final quarter. So we do have a surge of inventory before December, because December, of course, with Christmas, you got a little slowdown there for 2 weeks, where a lot of these companies would rather have stuff done in the books. So it's a good time to be looking and buying notes. And a lot of times you find some good deals because some of these investor funds, 10, $20 million funds, they get in a situation where they've got to sell notes to pay back investors. And these are notes that they may prefer to hold, but they can't afford to, and they've got to cash those things out. So we got a tape the other day. I think there was 47 notes on it. And so I started going through those. And once again, I recognize some of the addresses. So I'm like, oh, yeah, let me go look that one back up. It's like, okay, they had that here. They had that price. They've had this, and you get to see kind of the history of the deal when they were trying to sell it as a non-performer. Now it's a reperforming note. Well, how reperforming, and comparing the numbers to what to what they had before. So it's kind of interesting when you do that. So I recommend, if you're going to be in this business long term, just I don't permanently delete spreadsheets or anything like that. I just file them away because I don't know. I guess PCs do this, but I use a Mac, and when I go in there and just type in the address, it filters through my whole system, and it
Oh
can
yeah.
pull up, oh, there's an
PC,
Excel
same thing.
spreadsheet
Yeah.
from 2 years ago that this address shows up in, and I'll look at that and go,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
yeah, I know where that's coming from.
Mm.
And I don't know, man. I've always been one of those people that, it comes down to what I've said over and over, which is this is all about numbers and story, and that's what you have to understand. So the more you know about the story side of the evolution of a deal and the buyer and all of that, it helps you project what's most likely, least likely to happen in the future. There's just no doubt about it. And then of course you just understand what the numbers are, and everything is good on that end. So a lot of stuff going on. We are coming to an end, everybody, of the free videos. So I want to let you know that um, at this point. So we've been offering a 4-part video series for free, still free on the website, kevinshortell.com. You can go there or learn.kevinshortell.com. Really good video series, but it's going back up to $40 next month, everybody. So if you're going to do that, I would recommend that you do it. You do it now, and because we got to put a price on that one. It's a really good video series, and we've just been giving away for the last couple of months here. But no mas after the end of this month here, which is coming up quick. Okay, let's see. You got any news on your end, Dwayne? Or are you ready for me to jump into the case study here?
Yeah, jump into a case study. I mean, uh, just the video series itself. I expressed my feeling. I mean, it was nice of you to do it for free for as long as we did it, but it holds a lot of value, and you're nicer than I am. I would have definitely charged, but you know, it just because it holds a lot of value. I
Yeah,
mean, it's like they're sitting there with you, peeling back a deal, looking at it,
yeah,
and as if they were part of your one-on-one mentoring program. So
right.
has tons of value.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. All right, let's see. So, got a good case study for you here. Let me share my screen. And I know some of you just listened to this, so I'll be as descriptive as I possibly can. But there's the collateral from side one. Um, Picture 1,000 words, right?
Yeah.
What does this tell you about the borrower?
I would suspect it's an older couple, or they love their house. They got, flowers in the flower bed, and the grass is cut, and it just seems like the roof looks decent. It looks like they're happy to live there.
Decorations on the house,
Yeah.
everybody. There's a little bird feeder out there.
Yeah, they
For
don't want to move.
hummingbirds. They got a little sign out there with their name on it. The yard is well maintained. I
Absolutely.
mean, right? And again, this is a part of the story, everybody. I mean, when you look at this is your collateral. Is this person going to stay? Are they taking care of the house? Are they not taking care of the house? And you look at this picture, and again, I know some of you just are not seeing the picture and just hearing this on the podcast, but I'm just telling you, this is a cute little yellow house. House is decorated, as Dwayne was saying, flowers blooming, two different types of flowers, more than two different types of flowers out there, yard. I mean, everything. It just looks great and well maintained. And if you got that impression of the outside of this house, it's so logical to think, guess what the inside looks like?
Same way.
You know what I mean? There's just pride of ownership. This is the kind of collateral that you love. They're not going anywhere. They're going to stay and pay. That's what this picture is screaming, everybody. I mean, that's what you should take away from this picture. Now, this is on a corner. So this is the front of the house because you can see the address there, the sign. So I'm going to switch over to the side street, which you can see on the right-hand side there. And here's another picture of it. So now all of a sudden that house looks a lot
Ah,
bigger, right?
yeah.
Does it look pretty small from the front? And I don't know if you can see that, but she's a pet groomer. And she's got all the decorations and flowers on the side of the house. She's got a fenced backyard with cutouts, I'm sure, so that people can sit there. You can see the chairs over to the right, over by those cutouts, that people can probably sit there and watch their dog, in the back of the yard while it's waiting to be groomed or what have you. So she runs a business out of the garage, the attached garage to this property, which again, she's not going anywhere, or they, or whatever the situation is, right? They're not going anywhere. She's got a house that she maintains. She's got a business running right out of the property. That's some solid collateral. So happy about that. And that's just, when I got this deal, the first thing that I did really was just highlight the address and go on Google Maps. And that's where I got these pictures from, obviously, and put them on the PowerPoint right away. And that's the whole impression I got. And when you start looking at due diligence, you have to think in layers of due diligence. You don't want to be a time waster. You don't want to go down rabbit holes looking at deals only to find out stuff down the road and you go, deal doesn't make sense, and you've wasted an hour or so. With this, you should, as a note investor, look at this and go, okay, show me more. If the numbers make sense on this, I have an idea. I have an impression of who this borrower is, and it's all positive. They are not going anywhere. They're going to stay and pay on this property. Everything just totally screams that. That's enough reason for me to go, yeah, let's take a look. Next thing I did, pretty simple. These are all various websites that every one of you are probably familiar with that you can go on and get an estimate of property value. Do I need to be 100% accurate with the property value at this point in time? No. I just want to see, am I in the ballpark? What's this house worth approximately? And you can see on these numbers, Dwayne, it's pretty tight, right? I mean, we're not talking one says 20 grand, one says 200 grand. Okay, we're
Yeah, we're
talking here,
right there.
100,000 to 120,000, is basically the range that we have. And for right now, and for first impression, that's all I need to know. We're in the ballpark. That's all I would need to look at based upon what they owe. So I could safely say this house is worth at least 100. It's worth more than that, I think. But it's safely worth, on a conservative basis, 100 grand. Okay. They only owe $24,000. That's why I don't have to know exactly what this house is worth. I don't care. So I'd be in this thing for less than 24% of what the property is worth. So just 5-10 minutes, I'm already going, yeah, this deal is going to make sense if I can get it at the right price, because the collateral's good, the borrower's good, everything's saying they're going to stay on pay. Now I've got additional information on this one sheet, if you will. Payments on time, yes. Owner occupied, yes. Personal guarantee, yes. Beautiful. They've been in this property since 2014.
Mm,
11 years, everybody, almost to the month. Okay, 11 years they've been in there. That is fantastic seasoning. So they're on towards the downside of the note now. There's only 108 payments remaining. They've paid 133 payments. There's 108 payments remaining um, before the loan is paid off. But the balance is 24. Uh, again, that 10 minutes, this is a deal that I would put under contract. Wayne, you would put under contract immediately.
immediately.
Right? We can figure out the other stuff. If we have to make our contract subject to title, subject to this, subject to that. But if you were at an auction, your hand would be going up. I mean, it's just yes, yes. Okay. Good down payment when she bought this back in 2014. Not that that matters anymore. It's more about payment history on this. I did have another note, which is not here, but it was in the email from the person who sent this deal to me, where she doesn't want to do a escrow payment anymore for taxes and insurance. She's just not going to pay that anymore. It was like, great, great. She'll pay her taxes and insurance on her own. She'll show me proof of insurance every year, and she pays her taxes every year. On a note like this, the
Solid.
current note owner doesn't like that. They want the escrow there. For me, because they're self-servicing this note, they're collecting the payment on their own,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For me, with the mortgage, with the taxes and insurance, the escrow, That's costing me double on my servicing fee. In other words, my servicing fee for a company is $15 a month or $30 a month if it's escrowed on average. I would much rather have it be 15 bucks. She only owes 24 grand, everybody, on a $100,000 plus house.
Mm-hmm.
Let her pay her taxes on her own. Let her, I don't care about that. I'll check it every year, but I don't care, what that is. There's what, 10, 60 and 40. So there's five, six, less than 10 years left on this, 9 years left on this note.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with that at all. In fact, there are times on deals like this where I encourage my students. Here's what I would do, everybody. That servicing fee is hurting your yield, So
That's a good point.
contact them and say, hey, would you rather just pay your taxes and insurance on your own and not have it taken out every month? Most people would say yes. And that's saving you 15 bucks. So in other words, if your monthly payment is $300 a month and servicing companies are taking out 30, they're taking out 10%. When you go back and run your yield and do an after servicing yield, your yield could go from 10% to 7% just because of that. Okay, because they're taking that much out. Cut that in half, big difference, on your return. So really good looking numbers on this one. And so this was enough to, I haven't even looked at public records yet. Don't need to, right? I'm going through these layers of discovery here. So then after that, I said, okay, let me get on public records and just double check what? Property taxes. I don't care if they tell me it's being escrowed or not for reasons I talked about earlier. And look at that, paid, 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 paid. No problems with property taxes at all. And this was done also on an LC here, which stands for land contract. So this arrangement would actually mean that my partner and I, because I'm partnering with someone on this one, my partner and I are going to be on the title to the property until paid in full, which is another benefit in the security aspect of it. Would we be willing to modify it so she doesn't have to escrow the money? 100%. As I said, I got no problem with that at all. This is a turnkey note.
That's a great deal.
This is a turnkey note, everybody. This is just one of these that you're going to buy, and statistically, you're just not going to have a problem. The monthly payments are just under $300 a month, everybody. I don't know what dog grooming costs. Dwayne, you might.
Yeah, I can tell you that my dog doesn't get groomed, but it's expensive.
I could
Mm.
I could ask my wife here because she's done that out with our son's dog a bunch. But how many dogs do you have to groom just to come up, to pay $300? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
this
that's
is,
two dogs.
yeah, I mean, so everything on this just screams great, great deal. And so we still got it at a discount with a 10% yield. So it's on the lower end of the yield spectrum, but yeah, it should be. I mean, you're buying something that is just coasting, just going to be easy riding on this thing. Every indicator looks at that. So offer in, contract in. I haven't even seen the actual land contract yet. I haven't seen the actual proof of payment history yet. Um, I don't even know if they created a separate note or it's just on a land contract yet. But I don't need to
How much
because
you buying it for?
19.3.
Mm.
It's good to know people in the industry, that's
Take a dozen of those.
yeah, one of the look, everybody, I know sometimes, well, it's not fair. You get these deals. Well, guess what? Put 40 years in or 35 years in, and then they come to you as well, or you work with somebody like me. I could have bought that note myself. I mean, that's just a no-brainer type of note. 19,000 bucks. We're closing it direct in-house. So I'm doing the contract and everything else. There's not going to be any title fees or closing fees or anything like that. I'm doing all of that sort of stuff, and my partner's going to own the bulk of it, you know. Uh, but that's the whole reason why they hired me to, to do this stuff, So, there's something to be said where people, yeah, you have an unfair advantage. Well, it's, in my opinion, it's fair because I've paid my dues. I've been around doing this for, building relationships and everything else for 30 something years. So when these people come back and bring me deals, yeah, that's earned. But if you want to tap into that, everybody either put the time in or you, you work with the right people. And that's one of the reasons why people also hire me to work with them, and that's how it works. Whether that's on a consulting basis or a partnership basis, where you get the benefit of these deals. And again, you can see that's something very easily I could have just bought myself and not said anything to anybody. But this is going to a partner, and I'm just going to own a small part of it. But I mean that's the kind of deal that you can't waste time on. If you're going to
No.
sit around and him and hawing on this one, that's gone. That's gone. And that's what I mean. Where I just emailed the broker because it's a brokered note. Which, by the way, I'm paying a broker some kind of fee. How much of a fee? I don't know. I don't care. I'm paying 19.3. How much of that goes to the broker? How much of that goes to the current note owner? I don't care. Could care less. Why? My numbers work, the deal works, and this broker brought me a deal that is a sweetheart deal that nobody else is going to see, and it's inventory I never would have seen.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that I've talked to over the years, well, I got to pay a broker fee. Listen, do the numbers work for you? Yes, they work for you. Okay, so what do you care if that's a deal that you would have never have had in the first place. So don't, with the old saying, don't count my money, I won't count yours. I mean, if somebody's able to make some money off a brokerage fee and they're bringing you a deal to where you can hit your numbers that you have set for yourself, who cares?
Right. Yeah, 100%. In fact, I hope they made good money on this one. Bring me more.
So they bring you more deals. That's right.
Bring me more just like that. And,
That's
and I,
right.
I hope you continue to make a lot of money doing it. Because they're the ones out there sending the direct mail pieces, following up with these people with phone calls and letters and all that sort of stuff, bringing a deal to the table. They deserve compensation for that, 100%. Um, and rightfully so. And there are, again, for those of you who are thinking, well, I want to get in this business and I don't have the money to buy the notes. Well, there's another thing you can do right there. Broker notes. Go out and find deals for me. You can
Ooh,
go right to
is
our
that is,
website
is
now,
that
everybody.
breaking news where somebody can bring deals to you?
Might as well be, right? I might as well mention it here. Let me
You might
pull
as well.
well, let me pull this up. Um,
I was wondering when the news was coming out.
Well, we're going to leak it a little bit, not a formal announcement here, but listen, everybody, we're buying direct. We've got investors, we've got capital, and everything else. So there you go. You can go right to the website now. Oops, let me put that away. Here's the website. So again, you can just go to kevinshortell.com and click on sell a note. And under sell a note, all you got to do is fill out this information. That's all I need right here. Just fill it out right online, click get an offer. That'll go
Oh,
directly to me. I'll run the numbers and I'll get back to you with an offer. So let me back up. If you are somebody who goes, well, I want to make money in this business, but I don't have the capital. I don't have the 20 grand, the 30 grand, the 50 grand, the 100 grand, whatever it is. I don't have that money to participate. Guess what? Learn how to find a deal and bring it, and then
please
you can make
explain.
a fee. So,
Please, please explain this because I know it's going to come about. You're not going to educate them of how to submit a deal. You have to be able to submit a deal. Education process is completely different than trying
mhm,
to broker a deal and sending it in.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. So look, when I got started in the business, this is what I did. I didn't have the capital, but I learned that there's value in identifying a deal. If I can identify a deal and bring it to somebody who does have the capital, we've got the capital, everybody, bring it to us and we'll buy it. So, for example, again, I don't know what that broker's making on that deal. So I'm just going to make up a fictitious number here. So if I'm paying 19,000 for that note, Maybe he's got it under contract for 15. I don't know. So I'm just picking a number there. Okay. So he's making
Mm.
4 grand. Okay. How many of you could learn how to do that and put together a deal? Or maybe you already know somebody has a deal, or maybe you're working with real estate investors who are creating paper and they want to sell that paper. You can do that. If you're a real estate note investor already and you have a portfolio of notes and you want to sell a note in full or partial, go to my website, kevinshortell.com, click on sell a note. Send me the information that's on the form here, which is pretty simple. Who are you? Where's the property? What type of property is it? First payment date, all the basic information. Get that to me. We'll take a look at it. We'll get back to you within 24 hours and give you an offer, or we might even ask for additional information, or if the numbers don't make sense or something like that, we'll inquire about that. But it can happen that quick for you, everybody. So, there's multiple ways to make money in this business. And I know one of the things that always
Mm.
holds people back is I don't have the capital. You don't need the capital. You need to know somebody who does. So you now know somebody if you listen to this podcast or you listen to this Watercooler Wednesday live feed on Facebook or YouTube. You've got the capital now. You've got that relationship because we're buying direct. Okay, I've got a thirst. We've got a network. We've got people under my tutelage that are readily and actively looking for more and more inventory. So bring it direct, and we'll get them all closed.
That's awesome.
Yep. So you'll be hearing more about that in the industry. We haven't really announced it to the industry yet. I'm sure it'll start to leak out from this,
Yeah.
but no formal announcement just yet because it's it's kind of a bigger deal. It gives you a direct outlet where we can just work together, save money as far as closing costs and everything else, and get it done. So pretty happy about that.
Awesome.
Indeed.
Congrats on that.
Yeah, man. So great example again of just a sweet turnkey note. How you start to look through these layers of due diligence is so important. It's got to be compelling enough to make you go to the next step. And that example I just gave you did exactly that from the very get-go. The very first picture led me ultimately to say, yep, yes, 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 yes. Let me go to public records. Even more so, yes. Let me send you a contract today. You know, and that's what we did without having all of the final paperwork yet. I know I'll get that final paperwork, and my offer is subject to that paperwork, but I know that I'll get that. But again, it's just one of those deals. You don't hesitate. You move forward. And of course, the other lesson in there of brokering a deal and putting deals together. Great way to go. So lots of opportunity, lots of deals towards the end of the year as well. Next week, I'll probably talk about some more of these funds that are selling deals, but still going through the tapes and such. And, you do have to be a little cautious. There's more inventory in October, November because of reasons that I said, but there's also some stinkers in there, everybody, because they do want to get some stuff off of their books that is not good. You got to be able to know the difference.
Mm.
You got to
Yeah.
be able to know the difference.
Yep.
Because you might see something and oh God, the yield. This is the time of year when the yield hunters get crushed because they'll see notes that are oh wow, but I could buy this note. They've got it offered at a 16% yield. That's if you get paid, everybody. That's if you get paid. If you aren't getting paid, that's not a 16% yield. So be careful. Make sure you do your due diligence and know how to do it the right way. So, hey, you're looking for help, you're looking for consulting, you're looking for coaching, you're looking for education. We've got it all. Just go to the website, just download the free video series. Dwayne will schedule a call with you. And whether you're just looking for education, you're looking for personal mentorship, or you're looking for partnership, we've really got it all, right, Dwayne?
Absolutely. I mean, this is big leak of news.
Mhm.
Nothing official yet, but it is official.
Yeah. It's official,
Great
but it's
stuff.
not a big announcement
Yeah,
yet.
that's right. That's right. So it's good, especially for the ones that listen live and on the recording. So you're hearing it here first with Kevin, and you're ahead of the curve. So those of you that are that I speak to, and are looking to create some type of fee income, and just like what Kevin said, of I don't have the money right now, I really want to work with Kevin one on one. How can I do that? Here's a way to where finding deals you're currently doing, something that you may have existing, and or someone that has deals that they are trying to get rid of, that lists the cutting edge for you to where you could start creating some fee income. And then once you start closing some of these deals, use that money towards your education. So it's a great start, great platform. Obviously, with Kevin's reputation and being in the business this long, exclusive inventory, that people reach out to him because he's closing deals. And he mentioned earlier, these hedge fund companies need to get them on and off their books within 90 to 120 days at the end of the year. We're coming to that, so they want to get those off the books and be cognizant, look at what you're buying, because as he mentioned, some of these deals that you think are good deals, they really may not be as good as you think they are. Do your due diligence. If you need help with that, Kevin definitely has a superior one-on-one hand holding, and I will say hand holding, of how to go through a deal, look at it, and you work directly with him. Work directly with the pro, one-on-one, your time, not somebody else's deal, your specific deal that you're working on, and to overcome your objections and to learn that much faster just propels you in front of the class. So kudos to you, Kev. This is a big step to your business, and glad to be a part of it.
You bet. And kevinshortell.com, everybody. And we'll talk to you again next Wednesday. Thanks, everyone.